Hello guys, so today we'll discuss about the preamble of the Indian Constitution. So let us first now read the basic text of the Indian Constitution. So the preamble of the Indian Constitution says that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Right? So now let us read this once again. It says, we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay? In our Constituent Assembly, 26th day of November 1949, do we hereby adapt, enact, and give to ourselves the Indian Constitution. So, guys, if you want to understand the concept very clearly here, we should read it once again. We, the people of India, okay, I'm just highlighting this with one color. Having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a, now I'm using a different color, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. In our Constituent Assembly Day of 1949, do we hereby adapt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Now, why did I highlight this in four different colors? We'll see that in a while. But before we do that, let me just give you a brief outlook of what all things we'll be covering in this chapter here. So, we will start from the original text of preamble. Right, so we'll start from the original text of preamble. Now, what will be the original text of preamble? What do I mean by it? I things as it were in 1949. Now, we'll also discuss the ingredients of preamble. Now, why did I earlier say that we have highlighted four different colors here? Because we will discuss the ingredients of the preamble, which are basically nothing but source of the preamble, right? The objectives of the preamble, the nature of preamble, and the date of adoption of preamble. So what are these? Let us look now. Guys, it's very simple. Source of the preamble is we the people of India. Objective of preamble is to provide justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Nature of preamble is sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. And date of adoption is November 26th November 1949. Now we'll see the explanation of existing and old keywords. Now, which keywords are we talking about? So, guys, we will discuss about socialist, sovereign. We'll also discuss mainly about secular, democratic, as well as republic. Okay, so now you may think I've written all these words down here. Why don't I just read them? But there's a point. There's a point behind this. I'll tell you why. Now, guys, what will we discuss in sovereign? Guys, we will discuss that sovereign means primarily not being, right, so it's primarily not being a dependency nor being a dominion. Well, simply doesn't mean that we're done with discussion. We have to discuss a lot here, but still. Okay. Now, what will be the meaning of socialist? When we discuss socialism, we will further discuss that in socialism we will discuss the various implications of directive principles of state policy. In fact, it is through this directive principles of state policy that the Indian Constitution imparts the way of socialism. We will also talk about the implicit and explicit meaning of socialism in the Indian Constitution, and we'll further discuss the basic differences between democratic socialism. Okay, we'll discuss basic difference between democratic socialism and that of Marxism or Marxist socialism. Once we're done with the discussion on socialism, we'll further move on to the next keyword, that is secularism. Now, guys, secularism in India is basically imparted to the citizens of India using the fundamental rights. Now, which fundamental rights are we talking about? We're talking fundamental rights to freedom of religion. So it is very clear that the Constitution of India provides secularism through the fundamental rights to freedom of religion. Okay, and we'll also discuss a very important point, that all states shall have equal treatment. All states shall have equal treatments to all religion. We'll see this point in detail. Okay. Once we're done with the discuss of secularism, we will further discuss the concept of democracy. Now, guys, what is democracy? We will discuss a couple of keywords here. One will be the concept of popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty, which very simply means that the supreme power here, that the supreme power is held by nobody but the people of India. Okay, and we'll also discuss, while discussing democratic nature, we'll also discuss the difference between direct and indirect democracy. Also, we'll discuss the fundamental difference between, or we'll discuss the nature of presidential and parliamentary form of democracy. So once we're done with the keyword democratic, we'll further discuss what is a republic. So what is republic form of government? It simply states that republic can simply be understood by saying that the head of the state, right? So the head of the state is elected by the people. So this is a very simple definition of republic. Head of the state is elected directly by the people. And we'll also discuss some words such as political sovereignty, which is also nothing but political sovereignty is mainly headed by the people. And we'll see what is political sovereignty. Political sovereignty has something to do with public offices also. We'll see that. And we just read in the preamble that it is the objective of the preamble to provide justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. What kind of justice are we talking about? We are talking about justice which is inspired from the Russian Revolution. Inspired from the Russian Revolution. But what all justice? Justice of economic nature, justice of political nature, and justice of social nature. So these are the three natures of justice given to us by the Indian Constitution. We'll see what are these. We'll see the implication of these forms of justice in our day-to-day life. Once we are done with the discussion, we'll see what is liberty. So, liberty, in very simple sense, is just the absence of restraint. It simply means we can do what we like to do, but we also can't do what we wish to do. So, like and wish, what are we talking about? It just simply means there is a control to do things which can be done and not all things. Now, we'll also talk about equality here. So, what we'll discuss in equality? Equality, in simple terms, is nothing but absence of any special privilege to any special class. But we'll also discuss the contrary point of your social justice. We'll come to that. Fraternity, in simple terms, means nothing but a sense of brotherhood. So we'll see how does the Indian Constitution provides us a feeling of sense of brotherhood through the Indian Constitution, through the various facilities given to us. And then we'll also see the words of eminent personalities. This is something very important with respect to exam point of view. So Dr. K. Munshi, we'll see how did he use the word horoscope. Pandit Chakudas Bhargava, he has used the word that the preamble is nothing but the soul of the Indian Constitution. Sir Ernest Baker has said that preamble is the keynote to the Indian Constitution. M. Hitaidullah said that this is similar to the Declaration of Independence. Similar to the Declaration of Independence. And we'll also see once again, after learning all this, we'll also see once again the original text of preamble, but not in 1949. We'll see that in 2019. But in spite of all this discussion, a question still prevails, and that is one of the most important questions, which is nothing but is the preamble really a part of the Constitution? And if you have to understand this, we will have to further discuss three main points here. That is, one, three main Supreme Court rulings. One, that is Barabari versus Union of India. And then we'll discuss the famous case of Kesavananda Bharati versus Union of India. Thirdly, the Life Insurance Corporation of India. So, if we discuss all these points, we'll have a very clear understanding about the most important chapter in the Indian Constitution, that is the preamble.